Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Hello, my dear friends and students. Welcome to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad, in Chaitanya Studio of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad. With that, the continuing our journey of the Indian Contract Act 1872. So let's move forward with our journey to defining the important elements of a contract. According to the section 10 of the Indian Contract Act 1872, provides the following elements to make an agreement a contract. First is, my dear friend, the free consent of both the parties. That means a person who promises and the person who accepts, or we can say the acceptors. Then the parties' competency to enter into the contract. Then the consideration should be the lawful, that not declared void by the law. Then objective should be within the law. So these are, my dear friends, the key elements of the contract. To make an agreement a contract. But we define that agreements into the contract. We have to define the different aspect of, or we can say that the essential elements of the valid contract. And in that we have to define first offer or proposal. So my dear friends, what is offer? Or what are the proposals? So an offer is an intimation of any contract and therefore also known as a proposal also. And the person who gives an offer is called as an offerer, or we can say the proposer. And the one to whom it is made is called offery. That means in offer there are the two persons, one who is the offerer and another is the offeree. The offerer expresses his intention to do or not to do something for which he looks forward for the acceptance by the offeree. This means that an offer may be positively oriented or negatively, or we can say the both in a nature. So for that, my dear friends, the offer is also important in nature. And as we define the offer as per the Indian Contract Act 1872 under section 2 subsection A or 2A, a person is said to have made the proposal when he signifies to another his willingness to do or to abstain from doing anything with a view to obtaining the assent to that offer, to such act or abstentions, which is known as the offer as per the definition given into the Indian Contract Act 1872. So according to that definition, my dear friends, the following are the features of the offer. The offer should be made by the one person to another person. For example, the Ravi promises to purchase the TV from Manohar on a payment of rupees 10,000. So here the first feature is absolutely correct, that one person gives the offer to the another person. Here the Ravi promises to purchase from the Manohar. So there are the offerer as well as the offeree concerned about it. Then the intention must be either to do or to abstain from doing. For example, Julie promised the Inder not to file a case if Inder pay her the outstanding amount of rupees 5,000. So here there are two possibilities whether the doing so or not doing so. The second element, or we can say the second feature, is also fulfilled here. Then the offer should intend to get offeree's acceptance on given offer. Otherwise that offer cannot be fulfill their legal obligation. So the one person who give the offer, another has to do so or not to do so. So this is what the legal obligation for that particular offer in nature. Then what are the methods to making an offer? The offer are made in the following ways, or we can say the following basis. That is, first is communication, and second is a person to whom offer is made. From the viewpoint of communication, it may be defined in two ways. There is an express offer and another is a implied offer. In an express way, it must be in a writing, or we can say in a speaking way, speaking out something, or in a written basis. But when we consider the implied way, so there is a no use of particular word, or not in a writing, or that is a no, that the speak also. So in this case, offer is made by the conduct or the circumstances. The intentional are the conveyed by the sign also, an activity associated with it. Say for example, if you want to go somewhere, and at that point of time the local bus came to the road, and you just by the waving of your hand you stop that bus and you sit over that bus and you pay the amount of particular ticket and go to your destination. So this is at that point of time you can't express yourself. You can't even give the particular word to them. But it is treated as a contract. Why? Because you are by the waving of your hand is defined the sign. It defined that it associated with the contract. So this is what, my dear friend, that implied offer over there. Then the person or persons to whom offer is made. That is specific offer and general offer. The specific offer made to a definite person or a group of person who accept it in return. And in general offer, an offer that is made openly to a common masses, or we can say the common public, with some conditions, and whosoever fulfill this condition can avail the benefit of that offer. For example, sales promotion, then we can say the lucky draws also, etc. So these are known as a general offer. Then what makes an offer legal? It is to be understood that all offer made are not legal and therefore cannot be enforced by the law. So what are the factors that points toward the legality of contract? That any offer should possess the following elements. So on that basis, the first element, that interested in creating a legal relationship. Then a certain and the unambiguous terms, then should be the different from just a declaration of intent, then should be different from invitation to offer, then it must be the communicated, then should not include the non-compliance is equal to the acceptance term, and standard from the contract or the special provision to be well informed in advance. So this is what, my dear friends, that the possess some following elements. At that point of time we can say the offer is legal in nature. So this is what, my dear friends, that we define that what makes an offer legal. Then what is the cross offer? When the two persons make a similar offer without each other's knowledge is called as a cross offer. Say for example, Mukesh sent a mail to Rakesh to sell his television for the rupees 15,000, and on the same day Mr. Rakesh sent a mail to Mukesh to purchase his TV for 15,000. So since both the offers are the different and without the knowledge of Mukesh, thus it will be not valid in a nature. Moreover, there is a no acceptance of Kishore's offer, that is a third person, and therefore one of the offers are accepted to make the contract, and to make a valid contract any one offer need to be accepted. So ultimately, in a simple and in a layman language, that the one person gives the offer to the another person, and that another person gives the offer to one particular person of that person, which is known as ultimately the cross offer. Say for example, Mr. X give the offer to Mr. Y, but on that day the Mr. Y gives an offer to Mr. X in a certain area, which is known as a what, my dear friend? Cross offer. Moving to next, that is acceptance of offer. Then acceptance of offer is said to be done when the offeree, my dear friends, offeree to whom the offer is made gives his assent on its intention, terms, conditions, etc. And when these two words are fulfilled, that is offer and acceptance, at that point of time we define what is, my dear friend, agreement. And when that agreement going for the enforceability, at that point of time we create a contract. So here the acceptance of offer is also an important. When the person accepts to be the bound by the conditions of the offer, and therefore as per section 2 subsection B of the Indian Contract Act 1872, a proposal is said to be accepted when the person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent thereto, and thereby making the proposal is a promise. And the acceptance by the offeree may be expressed or implied, but acceptance is most important while you giving the offer to other person. So now in your mind, sir, what are the particular methods for accepting the offer? So it can be in a two way, that is in an express way, or we can say in an implied way. So here we define that express acceptance, and second is implied acceptance. The express acceptance is when the offeree agrees to the condition of the proposal given by the offerer either verbally or in a written form, and it can also be accepted out of the performance of required terms. So what are the implied acceptance? This denotes that accepting the surrounding circumstances or the concerned activity, like occupying a seat in a taxi or in a bus, transportation bus, then there is no written or verbal procedure for that acceptance. So at that point of time, we treated as the implied acceptance. And when you are using or you spoke the word or in a written form, then it is treated as a express acceptance. So here, my friends, we defined that what are the offers, the methods of giving the offer, then acceptance of offer, and various method for the acceptance also. So after making that offer and acceptance, then it becomes an agreement. And when then agreement going for the enforceability, at that point of time we create the contract. So here we justified that contract is equal to agreement plus enforceability by law. Yes or no, my dear friends? So let's move to the further discussion, that offerer and offeree. In this chart, we define that one person is an offer and another person is an offeree. The offerer shows intent to enter into the contract and makes a definite offer, and it communicates the offer to the offeree. And at that point of time, my dear friend, offeree the shows what, my dear friends, intent to accept that offer, then communicates to intent they accept by the proper means, and state the acceptance that they mirrors the terms of that offers. Say for example, the offerer said that I'll pay of rupees I'll pay the $50 or rupees 50 an hour to edit my book on the, we can say, the any techniques also. And one said that okay, I'll take to editing that book. So offerer makes an offer to offeree, and then the offeree accept it. At that point of time, my dear friends, that offer becomes the acceptance. And when the offer and acceptance both are conciled, both are in appropriate manner, and both are the complied in that manner, at that point of time, my dear friend, it creates an agreement. And after making that agreement to go to the enforceability by the law, at that point of time, my dear friends, what we create, that is a contract. That the heading of our unit, that the Indian Contract Act 1872. So at that point of time, my dear friends, we create the contract. So these are the important terms while you defining the contract in that manner. And here we accept that the mathematical expectation or equation that the contract is equal to agreement plus enforceability by law is considered here, and it's proved here. So when you give that particular mathematical expectation or equation, so my dear friend, agreement is equal to offer plus acceptance. Then the agreement plus enforceability by law is equal to contract. So this is what, my dear friends, definition about the offer also, acceptance also, agreement also, enforceability by law also, and contract also. And these are the important, or we can say the key elements of the contract. Is it clear, my dear friends? Yes or no? Yes, very good answer is absolutely yes, because you are all the smart and you define it in a good way. So let's move to the further discussion about the authority to accept an offer. An offer can be accepted only by that person to whom it was made. For example, if Mr. X proposes to teach material arts to buy for a free fees of rupees 1000 per month, and only Y can accept this offer. Neither his family nor his friend or anyone else can substitute that Y. And if such agreement has to be the made in it has to be the with the proper consent of Y also. So this is in the case of specific offer, that in specific offer the specific person and specific performance or promise are essential for making a specific offer. Then in case of general offer, where the proposal is open to all, then anyone who fulfill the terms and condition or performance the requirements and has knowledge of its content is said to have accepted the offer. So this is what, my dear friends, that the authority to accept the offer. Then let's move to the another topic, that contractual capacity. So while you define the legal obligation of a contract, at that point of time you have to define the capacity to perform the contract. And for that, my dear friends, the contract is a legal obligation to be fulfilled by the concerned parties. And aspects in order to enter into the contract, the concerned person should fulfill the prescribed norms also. And this means that not anyone can enter into the contract. The cases in which the person is required from entering into the contract are: if he is a lunatic person, if he is an idiot, then he is a minor, then if the person is drunk or drug addicted, and if his status is such that restrict him from the making a contract. So these are the person who cannot possess or not doing any contract in any nature. So who are performing that contract? The major can also perform the contract. So ultimately, my dear friends, we can say that after discharging this particular persons, all others are performing that the performance, or we can say the performing capacity of the contract, are valid and available. So therefore, as per the Indian Contract Act 1872, that every person is competent to the contract who is a majority age, that means the major according to the law to which he is subject. Then the person who is the sound mind in a nature and not disqualified by the law. So these three persons are intended to create a contract, or we can say the capacity to performing the contracts are available for these three persons, that is major, unsound mind, and not disqualified by law. Yes or no? So who are not performing that contract? As earlier we stated that who are not performing that contract. So in this definition, it highlights only the three words, that is a soundness, your mental capacity to understand the contract is important, that's why you are called as a soundness. Then your age is important, that is your major age. Then the disqualification is important in nature, that the law cannot disqualify you. or you are not disqualified by the any law in any circumstances. So these three are the important elements to performing a contract. After moving that, my dear friends, and after learning this all objectives of the contract with the different aspect, the different elements also, then you may go for the evaluate yourself with these three aspects, that is long question, short question and MCQ. And for that, my dear friends, the very first long question is available for you, that to describe the important elements of the contract. Then write a note on the offer or proposal. In this question, my dear friends, you have to define the definition of offer, different types of offer, how the offer make an legality, or what are the legal terms which can be the used to make an offer legal. So these all are considered in an offer, or we can say the proposal. And after moving this, you have to evaluate yourself with the short question also. In a short question, my dear friends, you have to evaluate the define the acceptance as per the Indian Contract Act 1872, and you have to define what, my dear friends, that the contractual capacity as per the Indian Contract Act 1872. Then whenever you define these four questions, at that point of time, kindly make the another aspect called MCQ, that is multiple choice question. The very first multiple choice question is the promise liable to pay damages that he know beforehand will occur in case of on the promise out of the contract purview? Answer is yes, that you have to pay because you know the profit. Then second question is, my dear friend, the which person should perform the contract, major or adult, the defaulter, none of this, or both A and B. So answer is, my dear friends, adult, or we can say the major person. So this is what, my dear friends, we discussed, that what are that aspects to be the attached with that Indian Contract Act 1872. So you have to evaluate these three aspects also. And after we conclude the lecture, what we learn here first, that is more important. So we learn in the first session, that is the introduction of the Indian Contract Act 1872. Then the meaning of the contract, the mathematical expectations are over there, that is a contract is equal to agreement plus enforceability by law, or we can say the enforceability. Then we learn that the different aspects where the contract can be performed, different elements, what is agreement, what is offer, what is acceptance, what is consideration, what are the enforceability by the law also. And after making it, we define that what are the agreements, whether the all agreements are called contract or contracts are the agreements. So all agreements are not a contract, but all contracts are agreement. And for that, the important elements of the Indian contract is also available. So we defined that what are that the important elements of the Indian Contract Act, and in that we learned that the offer or proposal, then the acceptance of offer, then the contractual capacity, then the method of the offer, method of the acceptance, and how it is considered to be as an agreement. So what, my dear friends, we learned that the different essential elements of valid contract. And in that, we defined that the three aspects, that is offer, acceptance of offer, and contractual capacity. And after learning this three, you have to evaluate yourself with three aspects, that is long question, short question, and MCQ. And when you complete this journey according to that particular aspect, and if you want to read something else, then you have to refer these two books by the Andy Kapoor, that is the Business Law and Mercantile Law, and second is PC Tulsian book of the business law also. So this is what, my dear friends, today we learn the how that important elements of valid contract is accepted and very important in a nature while you defining the valid contract. So this is about the today's session, my dear friends. Hope you learn well. Hope you get the idea of important elements of the contract and what are the contractual capacity over there to performing the contract in a particular and essential manner. Hope you learn well. Have a great day, my dear friends and students. Thank you very much.